Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Ruxin Sports, where we will be talking about football today. Yesterday, we made a video about the firing of Nico Harrison. So if you want to check that out, if you're an NBA fan, go check out that video. But today, we're going to be looking at the picks for what are we on? Week 11, I think. We're going to review week 10. I think I'm on the right week. I don't know. Let's get to it. So here are our picks. Let's get right to the entries. So week 10. Yes, so I was correct. Week 10 was last week. Started off with another Thursday night pick correct. I don't know how many in a row this is. I think it's 4 or 5 in a row on Thursday night. I always hit that, and then I always hit the international game, which in the past I've always struggled with those, but I'm doing so good with these. Well, this is kind of a weird week because we started off hot. We'll talk about these games. I mean, there's not a lot to say about the Denver Raiders game. The reason I picked plus 9.5 is it's a short week, and that's a 10-point win in the NFL on a short week. So even though the Raiders are not good, it's going to be hard to beat anybody by 10 on a Thursday night. And the Broncos, the only way they were covering 10 is that the Raiders didn't score. And the Raiders didn't score after like their first drive. They scored a touchdown and they never scored again. It was hard to watch. It was a brutal game, but the Broncos did win 10-7. It's funny how this kind of bookended the week with the Eagles game. That was also 10-7. It was also really low scoring. Okay, then we had the international game, which I got super lucky on this one because I had the Colts minus 5.5. I figured this honestly wouldn't be close, but you never know with the international games. And the Colts were actually losing by 3 with 30 seconds left, maybe even less at the end of regulation. They were able to end up tying the game thanks to Daniel Jones scrambling for 20 yards. They end up kicking a field goal. And then they go to overtime. The Falcons, of course, are the Falcons, so they didn't cover somehow. If I had picked the Falcons, I would be losing my mind right now. I can never get Falcons games correct, so I was very happy. I will take this lucky win where they score a touchdown and win by 6 points and cover 5.5. So Daniel Jones, sure, he's still looking pretty good. The defense is very sketchy. I still don't understand. Atlanta fan, you're in the comments. Let me know why. Let me know. Why don't we as Atlanta people who are rooting for Atlanta, because I picked them for 12 wins, which they're already not getting. I've already lost that because they have 6 losses. Why don't they use Bijan Robinson? Because at the end of the game, when they took that lead, they just used Algier 3 or 4 times in a row. I mean, he did score, but why does Bijan Robinson why don't they try to score with him? Isn't he their best player? I don't know. He had 10 fantasy points. They don't try to score touchdowns with him. It's so weird. So there we go. There's the Colts. Speaking of lucky, during the 12 o'clock window, as always, I am getting decimated in the 12 o'clock window. I had one week a couple weeks ago where we went 0 for 7 during 12. Well, at the same time, this noon slate, I was also looking at 0 and 7. I had a chance at being 0 and 7. The Bears were down 20-10. I'm like, come on, Caleb Williams. You got to do me a favor here. I'm like, we need 2 touchdowns because a touchdown, a field goal doesn't do it. You tie the game, you kick a field goal and win. You don't cover 3.5. I need 2 touchdowns. Luckily, and I say luckily, it's not good because Dart got hurt. Not surprising because he runs like a maniac. But for the Bears pick, it was lucky he got hurt because then they had to put in Russell Wilson, who is completely terrible. The fans just boo him as soon as he walks on the field. And with good reason, because then the Bears scored 2 touchdowns in a row and actually covered 3.5, which was an absolute miracle. Got me a win during the 12 o'clock slate. Then let's get into the ugly. Bills and Dolphins. Oh, the Bills might suck. They lost by 17 to the Dolphins. The Dolphins are the most random team ever. They either get killed by a bad team or beat a good team handily. I can't figure them out. I think they're now in the group with the Falcons, the Jaguars, and the Dolphins. Those 3 teams, you just don't know what you're getting week to week. You might get a great performance. You might get an absolutely atrocious performance. This week, it was an amazing performance. They dominated the Bills. Josh Allen looked terrible again. Then we have Ravens-Vikings. This one sucked because the Vikings were up a lot of this game. They were up 13 to 6 or something for a while. Then they give up 3 touchdowns in a row. All of a sudden, they're down 27-13. They score a touchdown. They go for 2. Justin Jefferson gets killed, and they don't get it. They get the ball back, so I'm like, okay, just score a touchdown. You don't even have to get the 2, and we cover. They're not able to do it. J.J. McCarthy, I'm not a fan yet. I don't know that he's very good. He, I guess, was okay. I mean, they scored 19, but really not very impressive so far. So they could have covered this. They could have even won this early on, but then the Ravens just took over. Lamar looked pretty good. So unfortunate loss there. Speaking of unfortunate losses, Browns plus 2.5 against the Jets. Let me say that again. Against the Jets. You would think that the Browns would be able to, I mean, they are on the road. I know they're the Browns. They're not good. The Jets score 2 special teams touchdowns in the first quarter. They score 1 punt return, 1 kick return. Justin Fields had like 8 yards in the first like 3 quarters or something ridiculous. And they're still losing the whole game. I think they had it tied at one point, but they had a chance, I think, to tie it. But Dylan Gabriel's just, I mean, are we really going to be, feeling good when he's driving down the field to tie the game? They lose to the Jets, which the only bright side is now my Titans are the only 1-win team in the NFL. Only 1-win team. We might get another first-round pick. And with the way Cam Ward's looking, we're going to need it. There is another terror. This game should have been banned from all airwaves. Absolutely disgusting game. I'm surprised it wasn't in like London or something because we just hate the international crowd apparently. We put the worst games over there, even though this week was actually pretty good. All right, Tampa versus the Patriots. Same thing with this one. Tampa Bay started off hot. They scored that touchdown to Igbuka right off the bat. I'm like, yeah, Tampa's looking good. Baker's back, baby. And then the Patriots did their thing, and they just methodically took back over the game. I think they got it to 20. What was that touchdown when Travion scored? Of course, Travion Henderson goes off this week all of a sudden. He's been terrible the entire year. He scored that touchdown. I think it was 28 to like 17 or something. I don't remember what the exact 15, something like that. And then they scored like a backdoor touchdown at the end. So it really wasn't even that close. It was a 2-score game going into that like last drive. So a lot of people picked Tampa. The Patriots, 8-2. Legit. Drake May's pretty good. Their defense, especially against the run. Wow, this team is actually legit, I think. So we got to look out for the Patriots on the picks in the future. They weren't even like favored. They were getting points because they were on the road. But wow, that was an impressive win for them. As you can tell, we're on quite a losing streak. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in a row. The Panthers minus 5.5. Why? I was bought in the Panthers. I believed. Here's why. The Saints with a new quarterback who's not really played ever in his NFL career. That's why I picked the Panthers, because the Panthers are 5-4. They're playing pretty well. Bryce Young was playing. Man, maybe we didn't want Bryce Young because, oh my goodness, he was terrible. It's the same thing as the Bucs game. They started off up 7-0. Pretty much if you're in the NFL and you start off ahead, you're probably going to lose half the time because they were up 7-0 with that Rico Dowdle touchdown. And I'm like, okay, yeah, they're going to just control the game, win at night, 21-10, 21-7, something like that. Well, little did I know it was going to get flipped on the head and Saints were going to score 17 in a row, and they were never going to score again after that. The Panthers, this was even at home. At the Panthers. I don't know how they were so bad against the Saints at home. The Saints go on the road. Chuck goes on the road and gets a double-digit win against the Panthers. They were 6 points. They had to win by 6. They lost by 10. Oh, so after starting off 3-0, I lose 5 in a row. So I'm 3-5 for the week. Well, it turns around here. Then we have one of the craziest covers of the season. And of course, I am so glad I didn't pick the Jags. I would have hated that. I already hate the Jags because they're impossible to pick. They're so inconsistent. I would have banned them from everywhere. I would have never looked at the Jags again. I would have said, you know what? I'm not watching a Jags game. If anyone's wearing a Jags shirt that I meet them, I'm going to take it off them and burn it right in front of their face. I didn't pick the Jags, so we don't have to worry about that happening. The Texans are down 29-10 with Davis Mills as quarterback. And I've made this pick before, the Davis Mills thing. Well, once Davis Mills was in, I'm like, what happened last time was I switched to, because Lamar was out, I switched because Huntley was starting. And then the Ravens covered anyway. So I'm like, okay, I can't touch this line. I'm not going to touch it. I'm just going to see what happens. And can you imagine if I had switched to the Jaguars and this had happened? They were down, Jags were up 29-10. Texas score a touchdown. I think it was like 29-18. Score another touchdown. I think they missed the 2, so it's 29-24. The Jags give it back to them again. 29-30. The Texans scored 3 touchdowns in a row. I then realize I have them 1.5, so they have to get the 2-point, and they don't get it. And I'm like, oh my gosh, you got to be kidding me. All of this, they're going to win by 1. Of course, stupid Jacksonville is going to cover 1.5, but they're going to lose after a 19-point lead in the fourth quarter. No, Jacksonville helped me out. Trevor Lawrence gets strip sacked. They return it for a touchdown on the last play of the game. And then the guy almost gets stripped on the 1 yard line because he's celebrating. If he had not gotten that touchdown, oh man, I would have been so mad. So then the Texans cover 1.5 after being down 19 in the fourth quarter. Thank you, Jacksonville, for being the worst team in the NFL. Even worse than the Titans somehow. Then we get to the late slate, and oh my goodness. I went from just sweating out everything, losing everything, getting these lucky wins to absolute dominance. I don't even need to talk about these games. Seattle, the Rams, and the Lions. Dominant. All 3 games were complete blowouts. They were up 28-0 in like the first quarter, basically. The Rams it was close-ish. Like it was like a 2-touchdown game, a lot of the game. But the Rams score 42 points against San Francisco. The Lions score 44 against Washington. All of these were easy favorite cashes. So 3 straight after that one, plus the Texans crazy win. So I'm on 4 in a row. Then we go to Sunday night, another disgusting game. The primetime games this week were absolutely brutal. Almost all of them. Thursday was brutal. Sunday night was brutal. Monday night was brutal. Sunday afternoon was brutal. Every primetime game this week was absolutely terrible. There was no drama. Rodgers was awful. The Steelers were pathetic. Like they scored a backdoor touchdown. It was 25-3 at one point, I think. And the Chargers weren't even good. They weren't even that good. And they were up like 1 billion points. They kicked like 15 field goals, which by the way, I lost by half a point in fantasy thanks to that. So stupid Chargers. Then we have one final disgusting game of 0-0 at halftime. I don't know how you don't pick the Eagles, especially in a slugfest like that. I didn't know it was going to be a slugfest like that. But when I saw it was 0-0, I'm like, I feel really good about having the Eagles right now. Tush push whenever you need some yards, kicking field goals. They got a nice kicker. And the Packers, they find ways to lose. So after I was not right on 47. After being 3-5, I won 6 in a row, I think, to go 9-5. Look at that. Look at that. That is what we call a turnaround. Okay, let's get to week 11. 11.5. It's another Thursday game. If you guys remember my logic for last Thursday, I picked the underdog. The problem is this is Justin Fields. This isn't Geno, who's like a bad quarterback now, but he's like still competent enough to like get passes down the field. Justin Fields just won by throwing like for 10 yards, basically. He had a couple like screen passes that helped his yards. The dude can't throw. And the Patriots don't allow rushing yards. Now that's to running backs a lot, so I don't know how it's going to be with the quarterback, but oh man, 11.5 on a Thursday. Wait, are the Patriots? No, they didn't play Thursday. That was the Broncos. Okay, I'm like, they're not playing 2 Thursday games in a row, are they? Oh my gosh. The Jets are so bad, but they have won 2. Wait, have they won 2 in a row right now? Jets back. Breece Hall's been pretty good, but I think he's going to get shut down by the Patriots. It's such a short week, though. I could see this being like a 30-7 game, though. I can't take a 12-point favorite on a Thursday, though. This team is so much better. They're probably 12 points better. But on a Thursday, Fields is so bad. Come on, Fields. Do something. Do something, man. This could honestly be like a 30-0. This could be such a blowout. And they don't even have backdoor ability because Justin Fields can't backdoor because he can't throw the ball. Like he can only run. He's so bad. They don't have another option. They scored 20-something points this week against the Browns, but it was 14 with special teams. Can the Patriots score like, let's say they score let's give the Jets 13 points. Can they score 25 points on a Thursday? Though, let's look at the last Thursday games. Let's see. We've got 17 there, 28-6 they covered, 37-10. We've had some pretty bad Thursday games. You know what? I'm going against my logic from last time because the Jets are so bad. I'm going to go with the Patriots. Like, the Jets are disgusting. They're disgusting. They're so bad. They have 2 wins, but they're so bad. Yeah, I'm gonna go Patriots because they look really good. Now, this could be a letdown game, and they're just like, yeah, we're so good. We beat everybody. But they have Vrabel as their coach. Amazing coach as a Titans fan. I miss him. Amazing coach. He's not going to let them do that. He's not going to let it happen. We're serious. We're contenders now. Okay, Commanders. Wow. You're hitting me with this right off the bat. Here's the thing with the Dolphins. Every other week, great, terrible, great, terrible. Well, they were great last week. They're going to be terrible this week. Problem with the Commanders is they suck. Like, really suck. With Jane Daniels out, I mean, he's definitely out because his elbow went the wrong way. With him out, McLaurin's probably out. This Bill running back guy is terrible. He's not a good running back. They've had to use the guy from Kentucky instead. They don't have a running back. They don't have receivers. Mariota's playing quarterback. The Dolphins at least can move the ball, and the Washington defense low key. It's been easy to look at the Cowboys defense, the Bengals defense, for how disgusting they are. If you haven't been paying attention, the Washington defense is awful, 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 awful. Dolphins by 2.5. Oh boy. Falcons against the Panthers. Panthers are on the road. They suck on the road, and apparently at home this week as well. The Falcons, I can never get them right. They have 3.5. You know what's going to happen is the Falcons are going to win by 3, 2, or 1 point. That's what's going to happen. Panthers are going to cover somehow. I hate this game so much. I don't like either of these teams. They're so hard to pick. The Falcons need a win. They're 3-6. Desperation time. You have to win this game if you're the Falcons. Problem is it's 3.5. The hook with the Falcons is really scary. Can we please use Bijan Robinson this week? Like, please? That's all I'm asking, okay? That's all I'm asking. So I'm going to go Falcons. I've been riding Falcons all year. I'm going to lose again. Bills minus 5.5 against the Bucks. No. After what I just saw from the Bills, I don't care. They might win the game. I know the Bucks didn't look awesome either. I like Baker for backdoor potential. If they're down 12, 11, 10, 9, whatever, he's going to score a touchdown at the end. They pretty much always score a backdoor touchdown. They did this week, and they lost by 5 points. The Bills looked awful. It is at home. They're definitely going to be better than that. They're not going to score 13 this week. But 5.5, I'm taking Tampa all day. Tennessee at home plus 7.5 points. We're so bad. Oh my gosh. The Texans. I don't even know if Stroud is playing. I mean, I am absolutely never picking the Titans because first of all, we don't win. We have 1 win, and it was because the Cardinals are so bad. They just gave us a win. And then we don't cover either. If we cover, it's a 7.5 point spread or 8.5 point spread. We lose by 7 or 8. Like, we literally by half a point. So if we lose by 7 and cover, that wouldn't be like the craziest thing. But if we keep it within a touchdown, if it's like 3, I'm going to be shocked. This should be a blowout. I know the Texans can't score that well, but we can't score. And the Texans defense is great. They'll probably have 2 pick sixes on us or a punt return or something. Like, it's going to be bad. Okay, Vikings, Bears. Vikings are favored by 3.5. I mean, they did beat the Bears last time. It was a pretty epic game last time. It was early in the season. McCarthy had a huge game in the fourth quarter. He actually started terrible in the big fourth quarter. The Chicago Bears are just not good. They have 6 wins, but they're not good. They always are down, and they have to come back and barely win. Like, Jaden Daniels dropping that ball at half field because it was raining, down 2 touchdowns, but then Dart gets hurt. Like, all these weird little things and ways they've been able to squeak out wins. Now, they don't have to win this game. They can lose by 3. It's at the Vikings. The Vikings beat them on the road already. So that's probably why they're 3.5 point favorites. Plus, they are playing much better than they were. Scored 19 last week. They won the week before that. The Bears barely beat the Giants. I mean, it honestly could be like a 3-point game, which is the problem. I really hate the Bears, though. I'm thinking about going Vikings, and I don't like picking the Vikings either, but I'm about to do it. I don't like the Bears. I just don't like them. So I'm going to go Vikings. Let's see what you got, McCarthy. Let's get it to please get it to Justin Jefferson instead of Naylor this week. Packers minus 7.5 at the Giants. I feel like Dart is playing based on fantasy projections. They seem to think he is. If Russell Wilson's in, this changes everything. If Dart's playing, though, I feel like they're going to be a lot. I mean, not I feel like they are going to be a lot better. The Packers need a win. They've been struggling. They're 5-3-1 now. I think they've lost 2 in a row. They're not going to lose this game. I'd be surprised if they lose this game. But are they going to cover 7.5? They really aren't very reliable. They don't win a lot of games big. They make everything scary. 40-40 against the Cowboys. Losing 10-7 against the Eagles. Like, everything is like, oh, it's all sketch. And then losing to the Panthers 2 weeks ago. Like, not reliable teams. I don't think the Giants are that bad for being 2-8. They just fired their coach, too. The firing coach thing, a lot of time, that works out pretty well. I'm not sure I don't know, because I feel like their coach wasn't that bad. He was just kind of a maniac. So I'm going to go Giants plus 7.5. They're at home. They have a new coach. Packers aren't that reliable. I think they're a little overrated. Let's go with Giants. Steelers minus 4.5 against the Bengals. Last time, wasn't this like a crazy shootout? Didn't they already play? Wasn't it like 33-31 or something like that just a few weeks ago? The Bengals defense is horrible. They're going to give up 30 plus points. The Bengals have been scoring 30 plus points themselves. Are they going to be able to keep it? The plus 4.5 is honestly like, do you think the Bengals can keep up with their defense? Like, can they score enough points to keep up with their defense? And the Pittsburgh Steelers defense, they gave up 25 this past week, which honestly is not that bad for how bad their offense was. They were on the field the entire game. So I feel like the defense played okay. How long is this Flacco thing going to last? Do we think Flacco's just going to be awesome the entire season, or is he going to have a few great games and then kind of, go back to being a 40-year-old man? He's looked really good. He's honestly looked great. They probably should have won a couple of those games. I mean, he's scoring 38 points twice and losing both, or 38 plus. I think it was 40, 41 or whatever against the Bears game. So this is a hard one. I'm going to go Steelers because it's at the Steelers. They need a win, absolutely need a win because Baltimore is right on their heels winning every game. And this Bengals defense it's atrocious. Like the whole year we're talking about the Cowboys defense. They're worse than the Cowboys. They're worse. They're worse than that Cowboy by a lot. They give up 40 points a game every game. It's really terrible. Okay, yeah. Do I even need to think about this? I'm not thinking Jacksonville. I don't care. I'm never taking Jacksonville. I don't care. They're going to win this game by 10 somehow. I am not touching Jacksonville. I hate them, especially after seeing what happened last week. I wasn't even betting on them. Like, I wasn't even picking them. Like, I wasn't doing anything with them. I am not touching that team. That team is pathetic. They're terrible. They find a way to lose. They might lose by 2 and cover. I am not touching them. The Chargers, still a little iffy. They need to keep winning to keep pace with the Broncos, who are 8-2. So let's go Chargers. Please cover this. Do not make me hate Jacksonville even more. Just beat them. Seattle at the Rams. This is the biggest game of the week. This is a massive, massive matchup. Seattle's looked incredible. The Rams have looked incredible. Both teams are in the same division. Literally like the 2 best NFC teams in the same division. This is going to be one heck of a game. I don't even know who to pick here because Seattle's been so dominant. The Rams have been absolutely amazing. Seattle's got a great defense. The Rams have a pretty good defense. Both offenses are clicking. We got Stafford versus Sam Darnold. Stafford's like MVP #1 candidate right now. Wow, this is a tough one. I've really been enjoying the Seahawks because I have JSN on 6 of my 7 fantasy teams. He's been amazing. The problem is they win by too much, so they don't need him in the second half. I will say the running back situation is very frustrating if you're a fantasy owner, but it's really good for them. They just have 2 good running backs. 2 good running backs. They added Shaheed. Their offense is good. Darnold's pretty good. The defense is great. The Rams, I just like Stafford better than Darnold, I think is my reasoning here. They're at home. I like Stafford better than Darnold just a little bit. I think Darnold's good. I think he's good, but Stafford is playing MVP level. He's playing the best like he's ever played, and he's been a great quarterback his whole career. I could see this going either way. I could see Seattle just pounding it, just run, JSN, deep ball to Shaheed. But the Rams, they got Puka healthy. They got Kyron Williams going. They got Stafford playing and healthy. They've got all their pieces. This could be their big win of the year. So they go 8, get a 1-game lead plus the tiebreaker. So I'm going to go Rams, but this is a really big game. I really hope it's a fun game. It's not like one team blows out the other. Cardinals at home against the 49ers. 49ers, wow. 2.5. 2.5 on the road. Brissett's looked okay. Now, they got killed last week, but the Lions are kind of a buzzsaw. It was the Lions they were playing, right? They were in the late window, one of the blowouts. I think it was the Lions they were playing. But Brissett's look good, but the 49ers need to win. The thing is, the 49ers are still pretty banged up, but with being 2 games back in the division after this week, because a guaranteed win for one of these, you have to win. Like, it's 2 games if you win. It's 3 games if you lose. It's got to be San Francisco, because it's basically a straight-up pick. I know that there's 2.5. There is room for cover, like 1 or 2, but I can't pick the Cardinals. I can't pick the Cardinals. Their season's over. Like, I guess you could say, well, they have to win or else, Their team is okay for being 3-6, but I'm going to go 49ers. Mac Jones, make it happen. Browns plus 7.5. Ravens minus 7.5. Ravens won by 8 this week, I think, so they would have covered this. The Browns just lost to the Jets. It is at the Browns this time, so it's a little different. I'm still not sold on the Ravens. I'm still not sold on them. But this offense is just so not scary. It's just Judkins. It's Judkins, and that's it. Can you just stop Judkins enough to win by, 8 points? The Ravens, they would, this would be a letdown game. They can't let down. They're 4-5. They have to win. So I guess I'm going to go Ravens. I don't feel good about that, but I'm going to go Ravens. Chiefs minus 3.5. Wow, they're favored by 3.5. And that's because they absolutely have to win this game. If the Broncos win, they're 9-2, and the Chiefs are 5-5. They've officially locked up the division against the Chiefs. Now that they won't necessarily against the Chargers, but that means the Chiefs are done with the division. They're not going to come back from that because they're going to be 3 games back plus the tiebreaker. So you have to go 4 games plus after that, which is just impossible with only 7 games left. They would have to go 7-0, and they would have to go 3-4 for that to actually happen. That's just not going to happen. The Broncos are playing too well. So they absolutely have to win this game on the road. Mahomes versus Bo Nix. Denver's a good team. They've had some shaky wins recently. I'm absolutely picking Mahomes in this game. If they win by 3 on a field goal, not the craziest thing. But if the Chiefs are ever going to show up and be the Chiefs and like show their dominance this year, which they've kind of been shaky about doing, they've had a really tough schedule. This is the game. You absolutely have to win it. Eagles, Lions. I like the Lions, but I'm going to go Eagles here. It's at Philadelphia. I know their offense isn't that awesome, but this team is legit. It's a really good team. They find ways to win. They win in weird games. They win in that weather delay game against the Cowboys. They win in a 10-7, slugfest against the Packers. They find ways to win. They're 7-2. They've lost 2 games. And they usually cover. They find ways to cover as well against the Rams. Block that field goal, return it for a touchdown. Now it seems fluky, but they just find ways to cover. And 1.5, I'm not going to say the Lions are not going to win. I'm not going to say that they can't win. They're a good team, but I'm always picking the Eagles right now. They are just a formidable opponent. Okay. Raiders plus 3.5 against the Cowboys. I keep picking the Cowboys as like 3.5 point favorites, and they just don't win. They never win. They look awful. That game 2 weeks ago, I think it was who was it? Was it the Chargers? It was 27-17. No, it wasn't the Chargers. It was somebody bad. And they could not score. They kept turning it over on downs. It was so disgusting. It was awful. But the Raiders on Monday night? Waiting all day for Monday night? That's Sunday night. You gotta win this one, Cowboys. You gotta win this one. You just made a trade. I don't know why they made a trade, but they made a trade for a lineman that's almost, or a linebacker or whatever it was. I don't know. I guess it's like you almost could add Michael Parsons. I don't know. This should be a lot of points. Let's have a shootout here. Let's go, Cowboys. Okay, I think that's all my picks for the week. There's some shaky ones in there. I'm not sure. Let's check out the group. See how you guys did. I mean, I took a little peek before that last game. I think I tied for first. Just saying. Let's see. Okay, so I'm now in 4th place overall. Let me get week 10. Oh, we got me and ESPN fan atop. Who's at the top? 90 points. Ruxin 34 picks 1 versus ESPN fan 699-565-6613 picks 1. Yes, 2 90-point wins, guys. A lot of you guys had 80 before that week. A lot of you guys picked the Packers. Questionable. Okay, the rest of you guys, a bunch of you guys got 80. So congrats on getting 2nd place. Yeah, well, technically 3rd because we got 1st and 2nd, tied for 1st. So good job, guys. 3rd place. You guys did okay. Let's see who was the worst. Dawn Hector. Did you actually get 10 points? Oh, you didn't make your picks. Okay. I'm like, there's just no way. How could you have gotten 10 points? I had to look. Okay, yeah, we got 40. I think wasn't he like 1st last week? I'm pretty sure you were like 1st, or maybe you were in 1st on the thing, and 40 points. Rough week. Look, I've been there. I was there just a couple weeks ago. So, yeah, and then you can just return right to the top next week. So I'm going to be doing that again next week. Just wait. I'm barely over 500. 68 and 65. We got to turn this around. I wish we had made our picks on the first week to see what percent I would be. This is just a number showing like how resilient you are, how many picks you've made, because I'm barely over 500 and I'm 65th percentile and I didn't do an entire week. That just means we've been consistent about making the picks. So 80,000th rank. We're going to win $100,000, guys. Going to be amazing. We're going to go on a hot streak. Okay, if you guys haven't joined this pick group, make sure you guys click the link in the description. If you guys are enjoying Ruxin Live, or not Ruxin Live, this is a different channel, Ruxin Sports, hit the subscribe button. You can also subscribe to Ruxin Live if you like. And check out yesterday's video about the whole basketball thing. I want to check in on NFL picks and see how we're doing. I keep forgetting to do that, but we'll probably do that if you want to see it. Let me know in the comments. Thank you guys for watching. See you guys next time. Good luck on your picks. Peace.